And as we are at the end of this fourth edition of IGIC, of India Global Innovation Connect, I want to call Claude and join you on stage and just give a couple concluding remarks. I just did. I just did.
Okay. So, first of all, thanks to the four of you, because it was a brilliant conclusion to 2 days of discussion. And when I say it was a brilliant conclusion, it is not just empty words or trying to flatter you. I thought, listening to you, that many of the things that you said in the last hour reflected a number of key points which, in my view, have made the value of this fourth annual meeting of IGIC. Of course, during the 2 days, we have discussed a lot about AI. We had AI, I would say, omnipresent. But I think what was important this year compared to, for instance, last year, is the fact that it was not just AI in itself and by itself, the technology capabilities and so on and so forth. It was relating AI to the needs of society. It was the notion of how do you ensure that AI is developed. Of course, there is profitability and so on and so forth, but is developed also and used for the common good. And I think some points in the session we had when the title was Shaping AI for Society and Society for AI was quite interesting. The second point, which I think was quite interesting, and again, you were spot on in what you said, was that we are at a stage in India where as India more and more get into the deep tech area, and when I say deep tech, it is, Anand, what you are doing with your company, it is the high tech, which is biotech or whatever. Funding will become even more important because these are areas where you have to invest for a much longer period. You have to be for the long haul. And so I think we had 2 sessions where we discussed about the need to expand new ways, new sources, but new ways of funding. What you said, Anand, about the fact that in India it is not possible to have pre-revenue listing is a big obstacle. In the same way that what we have is that debt-based funding for startups is now banned in India, whereas in other parts of the world, in other ecosystems, this is a way of funding which is gaining a lot of momentum. And so, again, this is another point which I think came in our discussion and you highlighted so well here. Then comes the third point. I think you said that, in a way, explaining the why now, you said there are so many multiple factors coming together. And during these 2 days, we had over many elements of discussion this notion that India is getting to an inflection point. It is an inflection point, which is the result of domestic factors coming together and also the international context. which is very important that you highlighted. And so I think it is important that us in the room, but people in the ecosystem, people in government, realize that this inflection point, coming at the right moment, domestically, internationally, has to be leveraged. And this should not be getting distracted by other things. Last but not least, you highlighted in your discussion that now, today, geopolitics become important. You mentioned we need to have an advisory board and we need to have people who have the global perspective. Why? Because quite simply, again, India and the innovative ecosystem of India is getting to a stage where people are realizing that India is becoming a real player on the global scene. So you are not hiding in some place doing your little work together. You are becoming a player where what you do might have an implication in what other high-tech companies are doing or trying to do, or markets that they are trying to conquer. And so you need to be fully aware and understand the global environment where more and more Indian companies have to evolve, have to fight, have to win. And I think what we had this year is already helping us shape some few topics, some themes for next year. So on behalf of my colleagues, and I would like especially Corinne to stand up, I would like Stephen to stand up, because on behalf of my colleague and the tremendous work that they have done, I think we have been able to put together something during these last 2 days that hopefully has brought some value to you. So on behalf of my colleagues, thanks to all of you for your confidence, and really looking forward to having you with us and many more of you with us next year. Thank you so much.
Let me just add 2 things. One, a commitment that you're not aware of is for us to try to do more connecting between this ecosystem and the world, and also to try to keep on bringing new insights that feed the process. I think that's very important. The other thing is I would like to thank again the people who make this possible, our sponsors and our strategic partners. I will not name them all, you've seen them on the screens, but we'd like to thank them again, because I think that's very important. And last but not least, our technical team, and I'd like to thank Vinay, because they've done a great job for us. So just that. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
And now let's have a drink.
I think we all deserve a drink. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.